Going to discuss figures of speech of poem number 6, Aunt Jennifer's Tigers. Now in the first line of your poem, it is Aunt Jennifer's Tigers prance across a screen. Now here the word prance, that means to take quick steps freely and as if though we are very proud of ourselves. That is prance. Prance means to move with quick steps, feeling proud of oneself. So here Aunt Jennifer's tigers prance across a screen. Here the figure of speech used is hyperbole because there is an overstatement that Aunt Jennifer's embroidered tigers. The tigers are not real. She is embroidering the tiger on a tapestry. So here there is an overstatement that Aunt Jennifer's embroidered tigers, they are prancing. Now anything which is on the wall piece or a tapestry, could it walk or jump? No. So here it is been told that Aunt Jennifer's tigers, they prance across a screen. That is why the figure of speech used is hyperbole. And one more figure of speech is that metonymy. Why metonymy? Because here the word tigers, they represent freedom. How the tigers, they are moving in the tapestry where the Aunt Jennifer, she is embroidering. How the tigers, she is showing as if though they are moving freely. So here the word tigers represents freedom. So the figure of speech used is metonymy. Second one, that is bright topaz denizens of a world of green. Bright topaz denizens of a world of green. Here there is an indirect comparison between the tigers and topaz. As I told you, what is topaz? It is a bright yellow colored jewel. So there is a comparison between the tigers and the topaz, and the point of comparison between both of them is bright yellow color. So the figure of speech is metaphor because there is an indirect comparison. Next one, they do not fear the man beneath the tree. They do not fear the man beneath the tree. Not fear. So here the negation is used to convey positive meaning. Positive meaning, that is, the tigers are unafraid of the man. And other two, as you know, there will be alliteration also, repetition also. So that you can do it by yourself. The next one is they pace in slick chivalric certainty. Again here also, in this line also, Aunt Jennifer's fingers fluttering through her wool find even the ivory needle hard to pull. Now in this line, the figure of speech used is, you can see here two words, that is wool and pull. They are the two rhyming words used in the same line for the poetic effect. Yes, and when you have the two rhyming words, the same line, the figure of speech is internal rhyme. Again here, Aunt Jennifer's fingers fluttering through her wool. That means here we are not just talking about her fingers, but it stands for, the word finger stands for Aunt Jennifer. The whole person, not only the part of the body, but for the whole body. That is why the figure of speech used is synecdoche. The next one, the massive weight of uncle's wedding band. Now here wedding band stands for the misery. When the man has put the ring on the woman's hand, all the responsibility now is on the woman. And if the man is a dominating husband, then the misery starts from there onwards. So here the wedding band, it stands for misery. So the figure of speech used is metonymy. Sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. Now again here the word hand stands for Aunt Jennifer's whole body. It doesn't talk only about her hand, but the whole Aunt Jennifer. So we have the part for the whole. So the figure of speech is synecdoche. Next is, when aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie. Again here we have the word hands, which stands for Aunt Jennifer. And so the figure of speech is senecto. Again here, when aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie. Now terrified hands. So terrified is an adjective over here. It is been transferred from Aunt Jennifer to her hands. When aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie. That means here the terrified. Who are terrified? Hands are terrified, or Aunt Jennifer is terrified. She is afraid for her husband, isn't it? So here the adjective terrified is transferred from aunt to her hands. So the figure of speech is transferred epithet. The next one, still reigned with ordeals, she was mastered by. Here we have the indirect comparison between the ordeals of Aunt Jennifer and the wedding band. Both are, what is the point of comparison between both of this? That is, the wedding band also binds the woman with all the different kinds of responsibility, and the ordeals of Aunt Jennifer, that also it has been just she has all that ordeals means her all kind of rules in her life. So there is a point of comparison between both. Figure of speech is, so indirect comparison means it is a metaphor. And the other figure of speech which we can identify here is reigned and master. Your reign means when person is putting ring means now is going to master over that person. So here the word reigned and master, they are having the same meaning. That is, they are, what is the meaning over here? That both are going to be, they are going to suppress. The male is going to suppress the woman after marrying her. So here we have the two words reigned and master, which are having the same meaning, and they are used unnecessarily over here. So the figure of speech is tautology. Now here one more figure of speech which you can identify is anastrophe. Anastrophe is a figure of speech in which we have the inversion in the construction of the sentence. There is the construction of sentence is not in a basic, means in a how we can say sequence wise, but it is in a inverse, there is an inverse construction. So here we have still reigned with ordeals, she was mastered by. Here the construction of the sentence is in inverse order, so the figure of speech is anastrophe. And the last one, that is, the tigers in the panel that she made will go on prancing, proud and unafraid. The tigers in the panel that she made will go on prancing, proud and unafraid. Now here the tigers, they are given the human quality of being proud, prancing and being unafraid. So the figure of speech is personification. And the another figure of speech, the tigers in the panel that she made will go on prancing, proud and unafraid. One more figure of speech over here is used, that is irony. Now irony is a figure of speech in which the real meaning is exactly the opposite of that which is literally conveyed. Here the meaning is conveyed that the tigers in the panel that she made, that she was embroidering on the tapestry, they were prancing, they were proud and they were unafraid. Okay. Now reading this line we can just understand that much, that this is the literally meaning conveyed in this line. But what is the real meaning in this? The real meaning is that Aunt Jennifer, she herself will remain terrified even after the death. These tigers will be moving freely, means with freedom. That is the male dominating husbands, they will be free. They will be living a free life, while the wives, that is Aunt Jennifer, she will remain terrified even after the death, because she was all the time controlled by her husband in her married life. So the figure of speech used here is irony, because it tells us that the literary meaning conveyed in this line is totally different from the real meaning which it wants to convey. With the new lesson, that is lesson number 5, Indigo. Till then, goodbye.